Hi everyone, Kevin the Geeky Gamer here. Now I want to talk about my review of Ghostbusters, the 2016 version. I recently saw it on DVD. I didn't know that the name Ghostbusters Answer the Call was part of the movie. Apparently they added that later. I don't remember them adding that Answer the Call part when I was at the movie theaters. Then again, I didn't watch it at the movie theater, so maybe they did add it and I didn't notice it, but who knows. Anyways, I did watch Ghostbusters, the 2016 DVD version, and my impressions are it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was good. I thought the comedy was hit or miss. It was kind of spotty. I could tell a lot of it was improv, which is such a weird aspect of it because I know the director, his type of comedy. Spy was hilarious. I was dying laughing in Spy. Bridesmaid was hilarious. I feel like this Ghostbusters movie, the comedy just wasn't on par to the original. But then maybe we're comparing too much to the original that we're losing sight of the comedy that it is now. Because if you think about it, movies like 21 Jump Street was hilarious, and most of that was also pretty much improv. The script was very minimal, but the original Ghostbusters, the one that came out in the 1980s, was a very cleverly written script with a little bit of improv from the great actors at the time of Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and Harris Raymond. But okay, so let's talk about this movie. This movie was good. I'm gonna go into a little bit of spoilers, so in case you don't want to watch this, the spoilers are gonna start right now. Okay, so we have Kristen Wiig as Erin. We have Melissa McCarthy as Abby. We have Kate McKinnon as Holtzman, and we have Leslie Jones as Patty. I think this ensemble or cast of these four women, they're great. They are funny. I love them together. But other videos I've seen about the Ghostbusters reviews, they did point out something that I totally agree with, is that everyone in this movie tries to be the comic relief. When I think it shouldn't be that way. It should be one person should be serious, one person should be the comic relief, one person should be the satire one, and whatever, and one person's the physical comedy. But it seems like everyone was taking turns in trying to be not equally as funny, but just doing the same type of jokes that belongs to other characters. That often I think it misses the mark. I thought the premise of the movie itself, I couldn't tell if this was a sequel or if this is a reboot because the messaging was very muddled. But otherwise, I thought it was a great movie. It was funny. I did like all the characters. Holtzman was my favorite. I thought she was hilarious. Patty, which was Leslie Jones' character, that she had some really funny scenes, and I do believe I kind of agree with the rest of the internet that they underutilized her scenes. I mean, she had great material, and when she shined and when she had her jokes, they were hilarious, super funny. I mean, the scene where she's in the opera house or the theater, I forgot what it was called. Oh no, the hotel, and you see the mannequin, and then the whole room full of mannequins, and she goes, that room is full of nightmares, and she just walks away. That's hilarious. Come on, nobody will go into the room knowing that you're looking for ghosts. So that's a really funny scene. The addition of Chris Hemsworth was so weird in the beginning, but I could see why they added him as a character. But I think they relied too heavily on him to carry the rest of the movie. I couldn't understand why. He's star power. He's Thor. He's popular. He's a hot name right now. And they made him the true villain of the movie because in the beginning we do have a different villain. I think he comes from Game of Thrones. I forgot where he comes from. He's a known actor in one of the HBO series or Showtime series. But he gets discarded halfway through because he dies and becomes a ghost. That's not super clear. But the point is he ends up possessing Chris Hemsworth's body and then becomes, controls and does all his evil plans through him. But anyways, I thought the movie was really great. Some of the characters, like their interactions are weird. And you could tell that they were trying to go more of an action-y route with the Ghostbusters when in actuality the original Ghostbusters didn't have that many action sequences, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't trying to be it wasn't trying to be a type of like a summer blockbuster movie back then. I mean, maybe it was or it wasn't. Maybe that was how the action came across back in the 1980s. But I know growing up, it wasn't super actiony. But the concepts of having four scientists having these abilities to trap ghosts using technology was really cool. And in this movie, they really played up the action. They would make so many different types of weapons. They would have like a ghost gauntlet, and then would have like ghost pistols and a ghost whip and a ghost grinder. Like it would suck up the ghost in this little meat grinder and pump out ecto ooze or whatever after it's been grinded. I could see where we're going with this. Oh, there was ghost grenades. There was like Ghostbuster grenades. It was weird, but I could see why they were doing this. From what I heard Sony is also making Ghostbusters kids show. So they might have to be in line with that, make it something more popular for kids to like. But from what I hear, people like it. I mean, it's a good movie. Me and my girlfriend, we watched it and we thought it was great. It was. I mean, I personally don't agree that it's as good as the original, but I think we need to judge this separate from that, because otherwise we're gonna just keep comparing. And people, if they want, they can watch the original. It's still there. No one's forcing guns to anyone's heads and making them force to watch this movie. And you gotta love this version of Ghostbusters now. But I do think they have something here. They shouldn't abandon this movie, whether or not it did good in the box office. I don't think it did, but I think it did okay. But they should make a sequel, but strengthen the core of what the story is. Strengthen each character and make them different from each other, because otherwise they keep blurring. Even at this point, I couldn't remember the names of the characters. I kept calling Melissa McCarthy's character Erin, and I kept calling Kristen Wiig's character Abby, when it was actually the reverse. But you knew who Patty was, you knew who Holtzman was. But those two characters of Erin and Abby, they were interchangeable. They were both professors. They both have very similar lines. They would both have physical gags. Like, I didn't understand what separated them from being the same character. Like, what is that made them different? Like, they both acted the same. They even, spoilers towards the end of the movie, they both ended up getting white hair. So I don't know. Like, it's just really weird. I just think they could have done more with that and utilized more of Patty. Holtzman was funny. She had some great scenes. We can understand she's like the wacky character, the one's like, oh yeah, let's go break down that door and see what happens, shit like that. That was funny. She was a great character. And then they have a cool action scene with her where she busts out like the proton pack whips, which were really good. And then she had this really cool scene, the coolest scene in the entire movie, and I thought it was funny. So yeah. The Ghostbusters movies for 2016, I think it's a good movie. People should watch it. It is worth your investment in time. But I don't think you're going to... if you watch the original, I don't think you're going to carry on anything that will make you believe that, okay, the franchise is safe in Sony's hands. No. I think Sony does have a lot of work to do to turn the ship around a little bit. But I think it's a great movie. I just feel like the negativity of the internet and the overreaction to the trailer might have hindered it too much. And they made Sony panicked. Or maybe the editing wasn't good, and maybe the improv wasn't as well done. But I've seen the director's movies, but I'm forgetting his name right now. But I've seen the movies they've done before, and his movies are drop down hilarious. They take time to set up, but it's good. This one I just feel like half of the jokes were on par, and half of the jokes were a little bit cringeworthy. But even then, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, so that was my review of Ghostbusters. Let me know if you agree, and geek out!